Supreme Court are this morning expected to start hearing a petition by the Council of Governors over the Division of Revenue stalemate.
Governors petitioned the court on Monday for an advisory on, among other things, whether the advice of the Commission on Revenue Allocation is binding. Parliament has proposed that 316 billion Kenyan shillings as revenue shareable between counties, down from the 335 billion Kenyan shillings proposed by CRA. All right, so right now, let's link up with Chemitai Gwen, who has been following up this story for us. So what's the way forward from here?
Well, Zinzi, we are outside the Stanley Hotel where governors, senators, members of the county assembly are expected to assemble here before a second round march to the Supreme Court, where they will be expecting to get direction from the court on the contentious issue of the Division of Revenue Bill. Remember, the National Assembly and the Senate disagreed over the proposed amount. National Assembly sticking with the National Treasury's position of 310 billion, while the Senate insisted that counties needed more money to enable them carry out the activities. Proposing 335 billion. The bill going through mediation process. The mediation process failed, and at the moment now there is a stalemate. Just recently we saw the National Assembly now republishing the bill at 316 billion, but the Senate also did a counter, which of course we know the Division of Revenue bill originates from the National Assembly, but this time the Senate did their own bill of 335. This is to counter that of the National Assembly. Remember, there's also the supremacy was pitting the two houses that are sort of thrown the whole process into disarray. But here at the Stanley Hotel, initially they had said that the march would start at 9 a.m. Now we know that it will start about 11 a.m. We've been here since morning. We were waiting to see a bit of activity, maybe see more cars, see maybe the governors, the senators, the MCAs already sort of assembling here. But we've been here for about 2 hours, and it's now that we are seeing a bit of movement. We've seen a few members of the communications team of the Council of Governors also coming in. We know that those are part of the people that are actually organizing the whole move, and we are expecting to see what the Supreme Court will rule on this. Remember, counties, the financial year has already started, the 2019-2020 financial year, and counties are saying they do not have money. There was the approval that counties be given some money to cushion them, also to pay salaries. We've seen some counties where the county workers, we've seen nurses on strike. We saw like Kipia, where county workers joined nurses on strike, protesting the fact that they have not been paid their salaries. Counties are saying they do not have money to run their affairs, to run their activities. And remember that already the national government is already enjoying its fair share of the allocation, because the president assented to the bill that now allows them to now to spend the money that was allocated to them. Counties now waiting for the Supreme Court to give direction. And yesterday, as you saw, my colleague Stephen Leto also covering the march by senators to the High Court, where they are also seeking the High Court's interpretation of the law on the issue. Really, their prayers are for the High Court to give direction on the issue of mandate. The National Assembly has been insisting that the Senate is infringing and sort of encroaching on its mandate. The National Assembly has passed some bills which the Senate feels required their input. National Assembly says they do not. So really, it's a lot of drama. We are waiting to see how this march will be, whether it will be different from the march we saw of the governors earlier in the week from the Intercontinental Hotel to Supreme Court, where they now presented their petition. So we'll be looking to get a bit of direction from the court on how this matter will be addressed. Remember, it's really an urgent matter, because counties at this time should be getting their share of money to enable them carry out their development initiatives, also pay their staff on the issue of recurrent, which is also another touchy subject. So Zinzi here, very little activity happening. We are waiting to see a bit of movement when time closes in, and it's about 11 a.m. where the individuals are expected to now begin the march. And also we'll be waiting to possibly hear from them whether there has been initiatives. Remember, there were expectations that maybe there would be a political settlement to this particular issue of the Division of Revenue Bill. We saw the Deputy President has been chairing the Intergovernmental Budget and Economic Council, IBEC, where the governors sit, and it's where they also expected to address this contentious issue of allocation of monies to counties. But also those talks are said to have also not gone too far because of the supremacy wars pitting the National Assembly against the Senate. So we will be really waiting for proper direction from the court on this matter, and possibly to settle this matter once and for all, because we've seen repeatedly in the 2018-2019 financial year, 2017-2018, there was still a stalemate over the division of revenue bills. Zinzi?
Chemutai, briefly tell us this. How would you describe the relationship between the National Assembly and the Senate right now, and how do you expect to see it in the future? Could there be reconciliation, or might it get worse?
Well, Wahiga, remember even yesterday when the Senate went to court, they wanted activities in the National Assembly, the debating on bills, on any other things suspended until the High Court gives direction on the contentious issue of the bills that are before the National Assembly. The Senate says there are 83 bills that the National Assembly is considering, and they feel it requires their input. There are 20 bills that have already been passed by the National Assembly, and the Senate says they did not give their input. It requires their concurrence. The contentious issue is the issue of a money bill. The Senate wants the High Court to actually explain what a money bill is, because every other bill that they say comes to the National Assembly technically involves money. And they feel that they have an input because they represent counties, and counties also have people sitting there. They feel this is part of their mandate. And going forward, we think this relationship has been sour for a very long time. We've seen the speakers going at each other. We've covered several meetings, even of the National Assembly, where we've seen the National Assembly Speaker, we've seen the Senate Speaker, and there have been complaints about the issue of mandate. The National Assembly saying the Senate should concentrate on the mandate, which is taking care of counties, and actually even going a little bit below the belt, where they say actually the mandate of senators is to look for burial sites for dogs. They really go below the belt and try to also belittle each other. But this is why now the Senate has also moved to court to seek direction so that this issue is addressed once and for all, because we know the other day we saw the Senate suspending its proceedings to discuss the issue of the division of revenue. There's a period where they suspended their sittings to discuss the supremacy wars between the National Assembly and them. And we also saw the National Assembly actually doing the same thing, suspending its proceedings to just discuss the sibling rivalry, pitting them and the Senate. So technically work that is supposed to be done in both houses sometimes really gets lost in between. Kenyans now treated to drama instead of now possibly passing legislation that will be helpful to Kenyans. So we anticipate that maybe once the court gives direction on these contentious issues, finally we can see possibly the bicameral house having a cordial relationship and enable each house to be able to carry out its responsibilities and not drag the country into the drama name calling that we have seen these past weeks and even in previous years. Wahiga?